This meeting is being recorded.
For problem 1 from chapter 22, we're asked to give a name for each of these compounds. So there's some things to consider when we're naming amines. So in general, when a compound has a nitrogen, you do name it as an amine parent. So that's what we see here. But this particular amine, this has an alkyl group. So this portion over here, it only has one alkyl group, but it is complex. So we're going to name this as an alkanamine instead of an alkylamine. So that means that the parent name, although it will have amine in it, will also reference the 4 carbon atoms that we see here in this, the longest chain, or the only alkyl group in this complex alkyl group here. So we'll name this as a butanamine. And since that is the only alkyl group, since it's a primary amine, we just need to name these 2 substituents here that are on carbon 3. So we're going to say this is on the first carbon. We have the amine, so we'll put a 1 there, and then we're going to list the dimethyl portion here. And that is, they're both rather on carbon 3. So we end up with 3,3-dimethyl. Then we put -1, again for the first carbon here, attachment to our butanamine parent. All right, let's take a look at B here now. We have one alkyl group, and this is not that complex. It's a cyclopentyl group. So we can name this as an alkylamine. So we could call this cyclopentylamine, all one word, or we could name it as cyclopentanamine. So you may see one or both of these. Both are equally as correct. For our third compound, C here, now we have a tertiary amine. We have 3 simple alkyl groups. So we can name this as an alkylamine. We could call this a cyclopentyl. And then we'll have dimethyl for the 2 methyl groups, amine. Or we can name this as having 2 substituents, and then this kind of like cyclopentyl group is our parent here. So we would name each of these substituents on the nitrogen. We would call this an NN dimethyl. And then I mentioned the cyclopentanamine parent. All right, so we have pentanamine. So there should be an extra syllable in there. Next, for compound D, again, we have a tertiary amine. So we can name this as either triethyl, since they're all the same. So 1, 2, 3 ethyl groups on that nitrogen. So triethylamine. Or we can name this as the parent being ethanamine. And then we would name 2 of these as being substituents. So we would call this an NN diethyl ethanamine. All right, now let's take a look at compound E here. We'll do this one last. We have 2 chiral centers that we're going to have to note at the end here. This only technically has 1 substituent. But we'll have to name it as a as an alkanamine, because this is a very complex substituent. So again, it's only a primary amine, but it's a complex substituent. So we will note this as the carbon 1, 2, and then this will be carbon 3 when we have to designate those chiral centers. Our parent here, we're going to call this a cyclohexyl, or I'm sorry, a cyclohexanamine rather. So that's an alkyl amine. So we have cyclohexanamine, and then we have to put the isopropyl on carbon 3 out front, and now we just have to name our carbon 1 and carbon-3. So let's look at our group priorities here. So the nitrogen on this first chiral center that I'm really darkening there, that's going to be our first priority. Then going this way would be second, and then here would be third. We already have a hydrogen on a dash, so we just say 1, 2, 3. This is S. So we have at our carbon-1, S. Then we go over here to carbon-3 now. I darken that. So my first priority would be the same direction as the amino group. So 1. My second priority would then be down here. And then third would be over the isopropyl. So 1, 2, 3. Now we're going R. So this would be 3R. Our name here, we'll rewrite this out just to make things clear. Say flow, hexanamine. All right, so altogether we have 1S, 3R, 3, oh, I forgot the substituent, I said it, isopropyl, and then we'll have another hyphen, cyclohexanamine. Sorry about that, so that'll go right in there. All right, let's do it one more time. We got it this time. 3R. And then we have 3 isopropyl cyclohexanamine.